As a Black-owned small business, you don't want to miss this unique opportunity to gain new customers on KBLA Talk 1580. For more information, contact us today at smb@kbla1580.com. That's smb@kbla1580.com. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
And if I share with you my story, would you share your shadow with me? Time to get paid.
First things first.
First things first, it's the DU General, Money B. I'ma put you up on the schedule, 6 to 9, 8 weekdays, not doing serious. We got a lot to talk about, so much to pedal through. Unapologetically progressive. Tune to KBLA 1580 to get the mess. We're your ancestors' favorite radio station. First black on talk radio, left side of the nation. Me and Dominique DiPrima go way back. Tag Smiley making sure the station stays black. Discussing all the issues in our community. We're hosted black and brown and others find unity. So let's talk about it. Maybe we can improve it. Digital underground, always down with the movement. So we tune in to First Things First with the Queen of Black Talk Radio, Dominique DiPrima. Go sis.
First things first.
KBLA Talk 1580. Good morning. God bless. Man, why does it feel like Friday? I'm Dominique DiPrima. This show is called First Things First. And my first thing today and every day, giving thanks, giving praises, asking for blessing from the Most High, asking for the blessings of the ancestors and the elders, and getting it started. And the way we do the show, Monday through Thursday, hour 1, we go to the local, what's happening on the left coast. Hour 2, we go national, international, and beyond. And in the third hour, we do a deep dive on a topic or a person or both. And of course, you're welcome in every hour at 800-920-1580. 800-920-1580. That's the number. We're pretty much on point today. But in hour 2, we'll be hearing from Michelle Chambers. She is a candidate to be in the state Senate for California, looking to take over the spot being left vacant by Senator Stephen Bradford. So that will be an important conversation. Also, hour 3, we'll be hearing from attorney Chris Martin, a.k.a. Doc Martin. He's an attorney, but also an R&B artist. So that's going to be quite an interesting conversation as we get perspectives from an activist artist in the middle of this season of elections. As I said, you're welcome in every hour, 800-920-1580. 800-920-1580. That is the number to call. If you are confused, I feel like a bigger number of folks have been reaching out to the station and to me personally, saying they're confused about the ballot or they don't know how to vote on this measure or that measure. And look, that's what we're here for. We're your election information station. So you could either go back and listen to the podcast. There's been a couple days, and they're all labeled there on YouTube, where you can go back and we go over proposition by proposition, measure by measure. We're going to keep doing it, by the way. You can also hear the interviews that I did with both candidates for district attorney, the incumbent, DA George Gascon, and the challenger, former Republican, now calling himself an independent, Nathan Hochman. You can hear them with your own ears. They're full hours. And as you can see, candidates in more and more races are turning up. Now, know this. If I talk to Michelle Chambers and we don't end up talking to her opponent, Laura Richardson, it's not because we didn't make the offer, okay? And that's just one example. A better example might be Shadeh El-Haware, and her opponent, Ephraim Martinez, is not calling us back. So, we give you a call, we give you an opportunity. If you don't think that our platform is worthy of your breath and your time, then that should tell you all you need to know. Now, I'm not saying that's definitively the case. So far, we've heard nothing from Mr. Martinez. What I will tell you is that after what I believe is my third conversation with Sade El-Hawari. I feel like she gets my endorsement in that race. Interesting to me that Akili, who ran, if there is such a thing, on the Fannie Lou Hamer ticket, because he's the founder of the Fannie Lou Hamer Institute and one of the lead organizers for BLM LA, has endorsed her. And what I also found compelling were her answers around reparations. For me, we can get into all the other conversations about ethnicity and experience, and some people feeling like she's coming up and sort of being chosen by other lawmakers. Well, that's not a bad thing if those lawmakers are mentoring someone and those people, those legislators, have a strong track record themselves, people like Supervisor Holly Mitchell and Mayor Karen Bass. So after what I believe is my third, but in the election cycle, my second interview for a full hour with Sade El-Hawari, I'm going to go ahead and recommend a vote for her for Assembly District 57. Ha! I said it. And you can write it down. And I'm not saying you have to do what I say, but you already know that because you call here and argue with me every day, all day. And I love it. 800-920-1580. 800-920-1580. Any hour you're invited in. Sometimes I get, tight on time and I want to leave the candidates their opportunity to make their pitch. But most of the time, 99.9% of the time, I'm looking for your calls. And of course, you're free to check in on social media. We're at KBLA 1580 on every platform. On Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, yes, TikTok, everywhere. And I am at DiPrima Radio, DiPrima, DiPrima, and then radio. And that is where you can find me. You can DM me or get on the timeline and make some comments. Love to see it. Of course, we're chatting, and I say we because even when I'm on the air live, I try to hop into the YouTube chat. It's youtube.com, and then you do KBLA 1580. Please like, follow, subscribe, talk some smack. Okay, voice. Come through. So, yeah. Join us there. Today is the big Together We Thrive conference and festival in downtown LA at the Japanese American Museum and the adjacent building. You'd have to register in advance. I know the conference is already sold out, but the festival may have a few slots. You'll go to togetherwethrive.com, and just really great speakers. But what I'm most excited about is the fact that this is serving justice-involved individuals, whether they be in foster care, formerly incarcerated, whatever their situation might be that makes them intersect with the justice system. This is an event, and under the guidance of the Los Angeles County Justice Care and Opportunities Department, created by the LA County Board of Supervisors at the urging of the voters, right? Measure J, our emphasis on care first. This represents the fruits of our labor. So it's awesome to see it manifesting, everything from expungement clinics to food and fellowship to DJs. I mean, Battle Cat going to be there. It is truly West Coast love in showing the progress that we have made in Southern California in particular around this Care First agenda. What does it mean to really implement alternatives to our incarceration? You heard Judge Songhai Armstead, who runs that department as the director, of course, under the direction of the LA County Board of Supervisors. You heard her on the show describing not just the event, but the department and what real alternatives to incarceration look like. And we've had others on the show as well. And when we get into a deep dive on issues like Prop 36, the district attorney's race, Prop 6, all of these intersect with the concept of how are we doing justice in LA? How are we doing justice in the state of California? How are we bringing it into the 21st century? And what are the fruits of that labor when we do make those moves? So excited to participate in that, to see you there. It goes all day long. I think it's 9 a.m. until 4 in downtown LA. 800-920-1580. That's the number if you got something to say. OMG. Well, no pun intended, but that settlement of the Los Angeles Archdiocese for all the sexual abuse cases in LA. If you don't know, you gonna know when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward. Tabitha Smiley's new book, The Covenant with Black America, 20 years later, is now on sale everywhere. This classic text shot to #1 on the New York Times bestsellers list almost 2 decades ago. If you have the original book, you will surely want to get this 20th anniversary edition with powerful new contributions from today's leading voices. This 20th anniversary edition presents a compelling blend of historical insights and contemporary urgency in this critical and unprecedented election year. Get your copy of The Covenant with Black America 20 years later today.
Order for Jennifer C.
Is this my double shot, double cream, double froth, double pump, double hot, double whip, double sleeve?
Yeah. Can you handle that much caffeine?
Hey, did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Well, I do now.
Seriously, did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Yeah, you just said that.
Did you say I just said that?
Yeah, I'm cutting you off.
Did you say you're cutting me off?
You earn We Match. Unlimited cashback match. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
Hey, what are you doing up on the step stool?
About to clean these light fixtures. The whole family's coming over. And if there's even a speck of dust in the house, my abuela will find it.
Here, I got a Swiffer duster to help with that.
A Swiffer what?
A Swiffer duster. It has this cool extendable handle that reaches 6 feet to get high and low, with fluffy dusters that easily trap and lock dust.
So, no more step stool?
No more step stool.
Easily trap and lock dust from hard-to-reach places with the Swiffer duster. Love it or your money back.
To help combat climate change, LADWP is helping neighborhoods have better access to electric vehicles by awarding nearly $130 million in EV rebates to customers just like you. From big savings on used EVs to building new charging plazas, LADWP is charging ahead to help all Angelinos experience the benefits of EVs. Get rebates of up to $4,000 for a used EV and $1,750 for a charger. Learn more at ladwp.com/EV. That's ladwp.com/EV.
This is the story of the one. As a facility technician installing a new welding station, he knows getting the ventilation right is critical for safety. That's why when questions arise, there's Grainger. Grainger offers detailed technical product information online at his fingertips, so it's easy to find what he needs. Because when it comes to safety, having answers means he and his people can breathe a little easier. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
So this new dose is, nope, that's not it. The price is nowhere to be found.
Mr. Green? Hi, it's all good. We've got this.
This is not just help from a Walgreens pharmacist.
Oh, new prescriptions. Cool. Let me check to see if these are the lowest cost options covered by your Medicare plan.
Oh, that's great. Thank you.
This is someone supporting you every step of the way. Chat with a pharmacist today to find help saving. This is the human kind of help. Walgreens.
Your ancestors' favorite radio station, and your favorite morning show host. Let's get back to Dominique DiPrima right now.
Right now. Before we get to that $880 million that the Catholic Church is going to pay out in settlements, I gotta say, I gotta ask you, Miles. Of course I knew who Hit Boy was, but when you get into the weeds and you start preparing for something like today, I'll be interviewing him on stage. It's just the scope of his work is so big.
He's been he's been on fire for a long time.
He's so prolific, is what I'm saying.
And no, he does a lot of work. He's a true musician for sure. He's not just a producer or he's not just a beat maker. Let's say that he's a true producer, a true musician.
How would you define just a beat maker?
I'm not gonna say that.
No, I'm not asking you to name names because you might end up in the studio with that person next week. I mean,
Right.
you are an artist.
I mean, some people just their introduction to music was, and the furthest they see themselves doing music is just making beats. Is that part of it? Literally just making the beats and putting together, the pre-cut loops.
Right.
The drum kits. It's a whole science now. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be, creatively and artistically. Somebody like a Hit Boy who lives in the studio a lot of the time. I've seen his work ethic over the years. I've seen the camps of culture of layers of people Hit Boys kind of produced and introduced to the game and worked with, especially out here in the on the West Coast. You know what I mean? Like he's
to be
really
able
that
to
guy.
produce like Texas Hold'em and then Nipsey Hussle from the same guy, that's range.
Yeah. No,
That's
Hit Boy's he's one of the guys, for real.
Okay. Yeah. I guess also a person, I was laughing yesterday after our conversation with Il Camille and the folks from Tech Lamert and Serato, because I am not a hip hop geek. Like, I'm not one of these people that knows every producer and how this beat was made. And like my friend, the poetess who runs Morris Media Studios, she's like that. She can tell you what drum machine and who produced it and who was in the studio but never got on the track. That ain't me.
Okay.
Like, I just, for me, I love the music, the culture. I just show up and be there and vibe on it. That's just my, but I know you're kind of like that. That's why I was laughing. I'm thinking to myself, Miles was like, how do you not know Serato? It's not that I don't care. It's just not my thing.
Yeah.
I might more micro focus on lyrics though.
Yeah, definitely. And that's the thing too. Hit Boy, he's a good rapper. He can rap his ass off too.
Really? Yeah, really.
Yeah.
And,
very few a lot of producers
Yeah.
A lot of producers try to rap and really can't hold their own from their pen standpoint,
Yeah.
They got to have the other artists write for them. Hit Boy does a lot of writing for the people he works with too.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. Yeah, and then some of them just yell on the record.
Exactly.
They don't even try to rap. They just yell on the record.
I'm glad you hopped into Hit Boy's discography, though. You were texting me last night a couple of songs. I knew as soon as you were texting me. Sometimes you text me songs just to play in the morning, but as soon as you sent them,
yeah, because I don't want to forget. It's not that I'm trying to bug you on your free time. It's like, oh, I'll forget. By the time it's 6 a.m., I'll be thinking about some proposition or something, I love Nas, so that's already a gimme for me. That's
this man resurrected Nas's career from the grave, Dominique. What?
Okay, well, I know what you're saying in the current era. It's just, to me, Nas can never be in the grave because he's one of the greats.
Right. Okay. You're right. I accept that. I'll take that back. But if you were listening to Nas around that time, you know what I was talking about.
Understood. Even for Nas to be in the conversation at that time, that compared to today, just people that know about him, people that are tracking him, instead of, it would be like, I don't know, a lot of the people that I revere, having another hit record at this time.
Yeah.
That's rare. Whether it be a Chaka Khan or whether it be Rakim, you don't expect them to have a hit record now. You just are thankful for what they brought to the culture.
Nas, when he linked with Hit Boy, he's back at the Grammys. He's, his career is resurged. It's a whole new audience being introduced to him. So, and to still be dropping some of his best work with Hit Boy right here at 50 years old, that's work.
That's love.
Love.
That's love. Yeah, for sure. Anything else on that? I wanted to get your perspective just because, like I said, I'm not that one that tracks every beat. And it amazes me how many people do that. Like, if you go on social media, oh, so-and-so is on the track and da-da-da-da. Cool. I know that's part of hip-hop fandom.
I say, I don't know how deep you got, but a lot of the songs that he did with Nipsey and Nipsey's early run on the Crenshaw and the Mailbox Money run, those are some of the some of the better era that I really, still connect with. So I think you should tap into that too if you get a chance. But yeah, him and Nipsey, him and Dom Kennedy's run.
Yeah.
Him and Big Hitch, him and.
Well, yeah, his dad. I mean, and yeah, I mean, some of that stuff I'm already intermittently familiar with because I am a fan of Nipsey Hussle, for example. But the depth is what really got me.
Yeah.
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 Because not everybody can do that. Not everybody even wants to do that. That means you're working.
Exactly.
That means you're working hard.
Exactly, and dedicated to it. So, and that's not something this level of success isn't something you just stumble across. A lot of people can stumble across a hit or get put in the studio with somebody to, be a Grammy winner once or twice, but to really have this layered of a career and, still be going strong. His stuff with La Russell, you know what I mean? To hit the independent scene too. You can't go wrong with Hit Boy. Shout out Hit Boy.
Yeah. Big shout out. He'll be downtown today talking about his life. But what's also impressive about that is in the context of supporting alternatives to incarceration, a reimagining of the justice system, which as much as people want to talk smack about LA has been at the epicenter of that. And as implemented by the LA County Board of Supervisors. Yeah, it ain't perfect. I mean, we can go down there. We can make public comment. We can complain, and that's part of our job. But if you look at what we've done in standing up a whole department that is tasked with doing things differently in our justice system, which has been traditionally racist and classist, that's important too when folks show up and they support in those kinds and support those kinds of movements and environments. People at that level don't always do it, or they do it on the stealth level and you never hear about it, which I'm cool with that too. Like, that's your business. If you want to be Prince and give your money to a bunch of folks on the low and you don't find out until you pass away, okay. And that's another reason why I wish people would just quit criticizing artists and stuff for not fixing all problems when we have the opportunity to be part of fixing our own, and you don't always know what they're doing. Okay, so this is what I was planning to get into, and I'm going to. But you're welcome to call in on any and all of these or things we haven't even gotten to. The LA Archdiocese has agreed to pay out $880 million to victims of clergy sexual abuse. Now, mind you, this is on top of the $740 million they already paid. So they're at $1.5 billion with a B now, paid out to victims of sexual abuse, and there are more people who haven't been paid. And here's the thing that makes it even crazier, in my opinion. The lawyers said they had to keep it to a reasonable amount so the Archdiocese would not go bankrupt. Because if they declare bankruptcy, then those victims may never see their money. And mind you, some of these folks are already in their 60s and 70s, still waiting on a check after being abused by a priest or some other member of the clergy who they actually trusted and relied on in a religious setting and ended up being scarred for life because trust and belief, being sexually assaulted as a child or an adult, is going to change the trajectory of your life, even if you do the work, right? In which many do with counseling or whatever. This is 1,353 people on top of the people that got the initial settlement, more than 300 priests. And I do give credit to the LA Archdiocese, which is one of the biggest in the country, for not declaring bankruptcy preemptively like San Francisco did and some other archdioceses have done, because they are trying to dodge these survivors by claiming not to have these assets or reworking their assets. And what they've said, Archbishop Jose Gomez, who approved that settlement, he says this is going to be funded by their investments, their reserves, their bank financing, even offloading some properties, but it won't be impacting their work with the poor or donations that the flock have made to their archdiocese. Now they're saying they enforce strict background checks or reporting requirements, and they are saying that no one in the modern era at this time has been found to harm any minors. So that represents progress. 800-920-1580 is the number to call. It just feels like a time when some kinds of accountability is coming to the forefront once again. You know, another wave of Me Too, another wave of what was done in the dark coming to light, and hopefully it leads to a new culture of accountability and especially protection for children, minors, young people. News, traffic, and sports, and more conversation on KBLA Talk 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
I'm Bree Wood with 4 things you should know from BIN News. The presidential candidates are busy on the campaign trail. Former President Trump was in Miami, Florida Wednesday for a town hall broadcast on Univision. Vice President Harris also held a campaign event in Pennsylvania. The suspect in the Appalachia High School shooting and his father appeared in a Georgia courtroom. GBI investigators testified that the 14-year-old meticulously planned the shooting, documenting it in a notebook. He faces 4 counts of murder, and his father faces multiple charges as well. Former One Direction singer Liam Payne has passed away at the age of 31. Reportedly, he fell from a 3rd-floor hotel balcony in Argentina. State police are investigating whether the fall was intentional or accidental. And Disney is introducing a new way for guests to skip the line in their theme parks. Lightning Lane Premier Pass will launch at Disneyland next week and at Orlando's Walt Disney World on October 30th. Get BIN News on demand 24/7 at BINnews.com.
Joe Buck and John Smoltz welcoming you back to the City Center Convenience Mart. Uh-oh. She's looking at the cigarettes, but she just grabs the gum off the counter. Stand Up to Cancer and Rally want you to reduce your risk for cancer. Go to takeahealthystand.org. Is this the takeover?
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Dodgers pitching staff dialed up another postseason shutout. The 8-0 win over the Mets Wednesday night in New York was the 4th shutout for the Dodgers in 8 playoff games. The Dodgers are up 2-1 in the best-of-7 National League Championship Series. Dodgers manager Dave Roberts used 5 pitchers. They teamed up to limit the Mets to just 4 hits. Starter Walker Buehler got 2 key strikeouts in the 2nd inning to escape a bases-loaded jam. Game 4 is tonight, first pitch at 5:08. Tennis legend Serena Williams is recovering from a health scare. The Compton native had a cyst removed from her neck on Tuesday. Doctors said the cyst was not cancerous. Hampton University removed their interim tag from head football coach Trent Boykin. The HBCU school made Boykin the permanent coach. Hampton is 3-3 this season. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
Tips to help improve basic steps for building a budget in 2024. Building a budget can help you achieve and reach your financial goals. With a budget, you can keep track of your spending, avoid and get out of debt, limit overspending, pay bills on time, and build solid savings habits. What's the best way to get started? Figure out how much to set aside for expenses, like rent, mortgage, bills, groceries, and entertainment. Understanding your past financial habits can help you make the proper adjustments for your budget. Adjusting to a budget can take time as you work to find the right balance, but keep working on it. For more financial health tips, visit chase.com or stop by a local branch. This segment is sponsored by J.P. Morgan Chase & Company.
We've got a lot to talk about.
Hi, I'm Ray Richardson, your sports connection here at KBLA Talk 1580. Join me and my co-host Neil Scarborough every Saturday night at 7 for Out of Bounds, the show that brings some flavor to the world of sports for 60 minutes. We take you beyond the scores and press conferences. We give you our point of view, the way black folks see what's going down. You can join the conversation and give us your analysis at 1-800-920-1580. Out of Bounds every Saturday night at 7 on KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black.
You like the style, though?
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminds you that we keep us safe. The Live Your Life organization mentors young women, helping them break negative mindsets and see beyond their surroundings. Through career exposure and hands-on training, they're encouraged to think big, stay focused, and make positive choices. Founded by Nikisha Mama Boo Smith, who transformed her life to become a community leader. Live Your Life is changing lives, but they need your help. They're raising funds to keep their new building open and expand their programs. Your donations will support food, clothes, hygiene products, and holiday giveaways. Visit liveyourlife32.com. That's LIVEYOLIFE32.com to help today. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
My friends swim no matter the season, but my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can sometimes take me out of the moment. Now, thanks to Skyrizi and clear skin, count me in. With Skyrizi Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. 3 out of 4 people achieve 90% clear skin at 4 months.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor today about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis, and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
Thanks for waking up with Dominique DiPrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
See what you made me do? Shout out to old Jews and old rules. New blacks with new stacks. I already been the king. Retroact, I'm just bringing it back like Jordan Packs. New money, they looking down on me. Blue bloods, they trying to clown on me. You can turn up your nose, high society. Never gonna turn down the homie. Knock, knock, I'm at your neighbor house. Straight cash, I bought your neighbor out. You should come to the house for me. Come and see what your new neighbor about. Yellow Lambo in the driveway. 135, I'm on the highway. Frank Sinatra on my sono. Loud as I did it my way. Me and Soul before the album drop. White Lexus before I had a deal. X-Bun B about me. This ain't no snapback again within trail.
KBLA Talk 1580. Call me now, 800-920-1580. Looking at 1 million, 2 million, 3 million, 20 million. Jacqueline Anderson's in the chat talking about, yes, a big settlement, almost $1 billion. It's 1.5 if you count the other settlement these folks made. As we pay tribute this morning. Pay tribute? Oh, that sounds crazy, like something happened to him. No. As we unpack a little bit the career of Hit Boy. It is the big shakeout today, Miles. That means you have to drop, cover, and hold on. That's the new earthquake advice. They used to tell us to stand in doorways. I always wondered about that, because if the door closes and slam on your face, it just doesn't seem like a good look. But they don't tell us to stand in doorways anymore, in case you're not up on guidance. If I was doing what I was... But last time we got hit with an earthquake while we were on the air, I felt like I should stay on the mic because that's my job. But if I wasn't doing that job, I should have gotten under this desk, under a sturdy piece of furniture, cover your head and your neck, and wait till the shaking stops. If you're in your bed, you don't get out the bed. You stay in your bed. You get all the pillows and covers. You use them to protect your head and neck. And you protect your head and neck and back with your hands.
I don't take earthquakes serious, I found out, Dominique. I don't take them serious.
Okay, well, you can be forgiven for that. I mean, you're well, no, you're not. You're a Vegas guy.
Right.
But do you guys don't have earthquakes in Las Vegas?
Not really, but maybe because we've been through a few here the last few years I've been here.
But those are tiny, and you're pretty young. James Farr is in the chat talking about where were you 35 years ago today when the Loma Prieta earthquake hit the San Francisco Bay Area. I didn't know that was 35 years ago today, James, but I was there.
Okay.
That was when I had my teen show, and I almost got buried and smothered to death in videotapes.
Yeah, and
That was scary. The bridge came down and everything.
like I all the earthquakes I've been through here, I felt if I felt them, I've kind of been able to chill through them.
Right.
You know, and they're kind of quick and not. So maybe I hate to say maybe it had to be a big one to really.
Yeah.
Startle me. Something got to fall over. Actually, something fell over one time with one of them, but I didn't.
Yeah, no, you haven't been in a big quake. And I'm not wishing that you would be, by the way. But if you were, you probably would have some kind of earthquake preparedness kit. I don't have a MacGyver survivalist, but I do have flashlights with batteries. I have an old school transistor radio with batteries because you want to be able to turn on AM. Sometimes that's why they're fighting to keep AM radios in cars. Sometimes that's the only place you get emergency info. It's on a little AM radio. Heavy gloves in case you got to move broken debris. I know that sounds crazy, but
Oh, that's good, yeah.
I mean, in my nightstand by my bed, I got heavy gloves, and I always have a pair of heavy boots under the bed. Not because it's some kinky thing, but because when there's broken glass everywhere, I mean, whatever, do you. Being a freak is not illegal, but I'm just saying, when everything starts smashing and that stops shaking, you got to go and check and make sure, turn off your gas main, your water main until it's safe. You might be walking through glass and debris, and you need that. They say 3 days supply worth of canned goods, water. I do have those things. I don't, and if you can copy your insurance paperwork or things that you're going to need, because if you need to get help, you're going to need to have your ID and your insurance paperwork. A lot of folks have pictures of it on their phone now, so if you have your phone with you, you're good. A charged up,
Battery pack, some.
Yeah, battery pack.
Waters and.
Waters?
You say like water. I mean, you say water and everything too.
Yeah. And if you take medication, you need a few days supply of that, an extra bottle of whatever the thing is. And this I'm not good on, but you have to keep your car on full, because when that San Francisco earthquake hit, I was supposed to be on heading to Oakland to go to the baseball game between the Giants and the A's. I would have been on that bridge. I would have been trapped on that bridge. Except for my butt is always running late. And why? Maybe that's why I never stopped running late, because it saved my butt from being stranded on the Bay Bridge or even dying. But when all that starts to happen, the electricity goes out a lot of times. You can't get gas. Gas pumps run on electricity. You saw that in the hurricanes, right? People stranded. So no running around on fumes if you can help it. Yeah. Jacqueline says in 1971 we had a 6.9 in Los Angeles. I was in the what year was the big quake here? In LA, the Northridge quake. That was a long time ago too, but that one was very strong. That one was. Yeah, that was another one that would make, I really, you think, okay, I'm going to die. You don't die, but you start saying prayers like it's the end. At least I did. So what I'm saying is the point of the Great Shakeout might seem corny, is just to remind us, and that's today. This is a worldwide thing, like 45 million people around the world will participate today in a practice earthquake. That's really what it is. It's a practice earthquake. It's at 10:17 a.m. today, and you're supposed to practice what you would do if an earthquake strikes. So drop, cover, hold on. So I kind of doubt Tavis will be dropping and covering and holding on in the middle of whatever he's doing. On his show at that time. But even if you don't do it, it's good to go through it in your mind. And the other thing that I think is real important that folks forget is you need an out-of-town contact. So, like, if phone service goes down or it's spotty or whatever, you need a person in another state that everyone in the family will call and say, hey, I'm okay, checking in, okay, I'm okay. So that person can call your friend DeAndre that lives in South Carolina too. And so even if your family is scattered all over, everyone calls that one person and they are able to find out that everyone's okay rather quickly without, even if the cell phones aren't working and all that. This stuff sounds like dumb until the quake hits and you didn't do any of it. And you're like, dang, I meant to get those batteries. Now I'm in the dark. And whenever I've been in a huge quake, I've been really popular because I've had my little radio. And everybody's trying to hear what the hell is going on. Everyone in my apartment building or wherever I might have been was happy that I had that thing. So yeah, I'm glad you're not living in fear, Miles, but taking it seriously, yeah, it's serious business. Not enough to make me move or anything like that, but it's definitely serious business. And check on your neighbors. That's one thing I did learn from being in big quakes, is that when things get bad, people are pretty cool. When it's politics or people, are just being people, they can be, not great. But when stuff gets real, people are cool. They're offering each other food. They're helping each other out. They're cooperating, checking on neighbors. Every major crisis that I've been in, whether it might be widespread unrest or whether it might be an earthquake, neighbors get extra neighborly, and people, the human spirit of love and looking out for thy fellow man prevails. And I have a girlfriend that was telling me, no, it's different now. Everyone's on social media. It's going to be a hellscape of, well, I don't think so. I think there's something in us that says, let's preserve the human race, or whatever that is that kicks in. The kindness kicks in. Okay, so Northridge was 117.94. I like, in other words. I just got to LA. Welcome to LA. You can't escape us. And yeah, but I still believe in the human spirit of cooperation and love. I've seen it over and over and over again. And of course you have your Ted Bundys, but overall people are good. People are kind. It's not going to be a hellscape, to my friend who I shall not name. Yeah, have your water, but you don't need to have an arsenal. My friend is like, I need a flamethrower in case an earthquake goes down. No, you really don't. All right, coming now, 800-920-1580, 800-920-1580. We are unapologetically progressive, KBLA Talk 1580.
The station you turn to when you've had it up to gear with cultural incompetence. KBLA Talk 1580.
Black Women for Wellness and Stand LA are standing up against harmful oil drilling in South Los Angeles. Our Bad Neighbors campaign exposes the serious health risks of drilling in our neighborhoods. You've seen the billboards, posters, and coffee sleeves around South LA. Now join the movement to protect our health, our families, and our future.
Visit bwwla.org/no-drilling to learn more and get involved. That's bwwla.org/no-drilling.
Chevy, All the Things, 2024 Truck Season Radio 30, code GWMR0294000.
This truck season, think about all the things you can do in a Chevy truck. You'll be able to, or you can even just, with impressive towing, incredible bed and tailgate functionality, and multiple powertrains, Chevy trucks have what you need to get things done. When you want to do it all, Chevy's got you. Chevrolet, together let's drive.
Fam, some of y'all need to hear this. If you owe the IRS $8,000 or more, if you haven't filed your taxes, or if you are going through an audit and you're fighting the IRS, you need someone on your side, an ally. Allies Tax Relief has a large team of professionals that negotiates with the IRS on behalf of taxpayers just like you. Allies Tax Relief will protect your wages from being garnished, your bank account from being levied, and your assets from being seized by the IRS. Allies Tax Relief has fought for thousands of Americans in your situation. There's no reason to be embarrassed. Don't let fear stop you from calling and resolving your issue. Call 800-854-2815 today for a free consultation. Allies teams of tax attorneys, CPAs, and enrolled agents have negotiated millions in IRS tax debt, and they're ready to fight for you. Call today for the freedom you've been waiting for. Call 800-854-2815 or visit alliestaxrelief.com.
The California Crusader newspaper would like to thank all of our subscribers for their support throughout the years, proudly serving the South Los Angeles and South Bay areas for more than 40 years. The California Crusader is a multicultural, black-owned, adjudicated newspaper that focuses on providing newsworthy information to the people in our community. We're constantly looking for ways to assist businesses in our community to connect with our subscribers. We provide low-cost, effective ways to promote your business with our reasonable and affordable advertising rates. You can participate by suggesting, sharing, and submitting your stories on the California Crusader newspaper Community Share Facebook group page, or visit our website at cal-cruise-news.com. That's calcruisenews.com. Then click on the Submit Now button located on the top right corner of the homepage, or text CCN to 42828. Again, text CCN to 42828. The California Crusader newspaper, working together to build a better community for our future. Subscribe today.
This is KBLA Talk 1580, where hate loses and love wins.
And it is voting season right now. So many people have been calling this station and emailing and DMing me. We do not have an official voting slate for KBLA Talk 1580. We could, but we don't. What I do, and I've said this repeatedly, and I'm going to keep saying it because I want us to be ready. I want us to do the right thing. And people are, but you can vote right now. Like, if you've got your mail-in ballot and you know what the thing is and you know what you're voting, you can vote it. You can vote. You can put it in a county, LA County mailbox right now. There's one in front of most libraries. There's one right out over here in Leimert Park, right in front of the park itself. And you just drop it in there. They're the UCLA colors, baby blue and yellow. Boom, drop it in, you good. You can also do what I do because I like my sticker and I like to know for sure that it went where I wanted it to go. So I will fill out a mail-in and take it to a polling place and hand it to a poll worker and watch them put it in the box. Get my little sticker, like the one on the back of my computer, right? So you can do that. But if you are not sure about your registration, and don't be fooled, you can register all the way up until the last day to vote, which is November 5th. Anything that you heard that was different than that is a lie. November 5th is the last day to vote, and voting has already begun. If you want to get more information, we've had some folks that aren't great online, you're not sure if you're registered, the status of your registration or something like that, the nearest polling place. Because remember, you can now vote in LA County at any polling place, any vote center. Doesn't have to be the one near you or the one near your work. It can be the one near your favorite frozen yogurt place. It doesn't matter. Any place that's convenient to you in LA County. You know, if you feel like voting in the Valley, do you, boo? You can go to any. But if you need info, call 800-815-2666. That's 800-815-2666. That's the LA County Registrar of Voters. They have a website, lavote.gov. lavote.gov. If you are good online, you can look yourself up and figure it out. Now, if you're a person who feels that you have witnessed some shenanigans i.e., you are concerned about your voter registration, or you see somebody doing some funny stuff to a polling drop box, or intimidating people at a polling place, or anything, any MAGA shenanigans or anything like that that you might see, there is something called the Election Protection Hotline, which is staffed by a group called Common Cause. This is a nonpartisan group, very excellent organization. One of the main things they do, their bailiwick, if you will, is protecting elections, making sure that our democracy functions the way it is meant to do so. You can always, and even if something seems off to you about your ballot, or you're just worried, you can call them at 866-687-8683. It's 1-866-R-VOTE. But I say the numbers because I'm not good at spelling out words when I'm dialing. That's too much thinking. 866-687-8683. That's the that's the Election Protection Hotline. Active now, active on Election Day. If you see something crazy, or you just need some help in the voting process, these are folks you can call. It's what they do. That's the Election Protection Hotline. Okay? And if you're outside of LA County, you can do the Election Protection Hotline, or you can go to your Secretary of State's website. In California, it's the website of Secretary of State Shirley Weber. If you're not in LA County, you're San Bernardino County or somewhere, Kern County, anywhere in Cali. Now, if you're in another state, I know we have folks from other states listening, you can go to your Secretary of State's website. I don't have the specifics right in front of me as far as your Secretary of State, but you can look it up on the website. And if you don't know what to do, the Election Protection Hotline, that's national, that 866-687-8683. They can help you, whatever jurisdiction, if you're too overwhelmed to figure out how to find your polling places, because the rules are different in different states. And in different states, early voting starts on various days, and there are different plans as far as where those drop boxes are, or if they have any at all. There's some states where they try to stop you from voting. And all of us have responsibility to bring at least 3 people to the polls. It doesn't mean you have to literally put them in your car. But if you have someone that you know received a mail-in vote ballot, and you know they're not likely to actually do what they got to do, we have to encourage them, encourage them to vote, remind them. Make sure they fill it out. Maybe you give them a ride to the drop box to drop it off. That kind of thing. Make sure. And if you're going to drop it off for them, you have to sign this whole special section. And you don't want to, you want to be really, especially in this election, really exacting with the rules, because Republicans are just looking for a reason to validate the whiny complaints of their orange-haired leader. So whether you do it today or November 5th, that's the info we can give you. Jamal says people vandalize the vote boxes. I believe they're relatively safe. As far as the data I've seen, it can happen, but it ain't easy. So if you are like me, he says he don't trust the drop boxes. You can do like me. You can walk it into a voting booth, or you can drop it in the mail. It doesn't even need postage. So that's what I do. But do what makes you feel safe. The most important thing is to vote and influence some others to vote, whether they're elders or youngers. If you have a teenager in your home that will turn 18 by November 4th, make sure they fill out their mail-in ballot or take them to the polls. They can go to early voting. In-person early voting is also a thing, and you can find out more on lavote.net or by calling that hotline. The Registrar of Voters, 800-815-2666, 800-815-2666. We're going to keep talking about this. We're going to make sure we have the information for you because I think folks are really worried. I haven't seen, and I'm actually encouraged by this because I haven't seen so many people hitting me up on direct messages, on all of my social media, calling the front desk here at the radio station, emailing us here at the station. I have been doing radio a long time. God is good. And I don't recall seeing this much concern. And that's a good thing because it means you're making a vote plan. When can I go? How can I go? Do I drop it in the mail? All of those things. And we're here for you. So if you need help, keep calling. And we're going to keep providing you that info because we are your election information station. Michelle Chambers is running for California State Senate, and she joins us in the studio next on your election information station, KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
Bree Wood with 4 things you should know from BIN News. The presidential candidates are busy on the campaign trail. Former President Trump was in Miami, Florida Wednesday for a town hall broadcast on Univision. Vice President Harris also held a campaign event in Pennsylvania. The suspect in the Appalachia High School shooting and his father appeared in a Georgia courtroom. GBI investigators testified that the 14-year-old meticulously planned this. Are investigating whether the fall was intentional or accidental. And Disney is introducing a new way for guests to skip the line in their